This is Chazar of Gemara and Eruvin DAF Lamid. All this learning for Chodesh Elul is sponsored as Chus for Shleim Shan Tov Bas Esther, as well as Chus in Nishmas Bas Rezel Bas Meir. We pick it up in the bottom of Chav Tesam and Beis Amar Yehuda Mar Shmuel Kol Shu Lifting Gilechel Boy Kol She'eni Lifting Gilechel Menu. We have to know the quantity to make the ear if it's 2 meals worth. So if it's an item that's eaten with bread, then it's the amount of food that's eaten with the bread for 2 meals. If it's an item that's eaten without bread, then you need a full 2 meals worth of that item. Basar Chai Ra Mik Gilechel Menu. You have to be able to eat a full 2 meals of it. It's not something to eat with bread. Basar Sli roasted meat Rabba Amar Gilechel Boy. Do you eat roasted meat with bread or not? They eat the sliced roasted meat with bread, without bread. It says, that's my right. You need to have a full 2 meals worth of this sliced up meat. Moving along to it's subjective. Why you tell me who cares about the Persians? Maybe you'll tell me just being machmir. Once we found some people eat it by itself, therefore we require that for an Erev. We see Shem Lazar, we don't just go to Chumrah. By Ravas and a Gloin, it goes by the average meal. Kasha, good Kasha from Yosef. We want to know is in the house. Which doorway is going to be Tomei? He says Shem Lazar, the big doorway that he fits out of. Seemingly subjective. It says, what do you want to do? You're going to cut up Yigmel Lazar, take it out? So obviously it has to be subjective, whichever door, but it's not a question of Shem Lazar by the glutton that he requires the amount of food for Adam Beini. Bailu says Gemara Pliger Rabbanan leader of Shimon Lazar Eloi. Tashema Adam Rabbi Chanan Rabbi Yechon Yigmel Chabash and Bizchay Barba. Seem they argue. Says the doorway of 4 Tzvachim. They don't say the big doorway. There were small doorways. Tuva, a lot of them. And there was one doorway that was 4 Tzvachim. And that's why the Rabbanan said the 4 doorway Tzvachim is going to be Tamei. When you know wide in one door to get it, like which one are you going to choose? The bigger one, and that's the reason why that one's going to be Tamei. Onions, eggs. I'm sorry. Only water and salt is not food. Let me tell you only make them on the 5 grains, nothing else, no rice, etc. Says Gemara, we already destroyed Rav Shmuel. What's the problem? Says Gemara, you're right. Let me tell you, it's asked a question from here also. They don't give sustenance. We are 100 people. Each person would take 10,000 fruits. Asara, when we were 10 people, given to be Asara, have a everyone would take 100 fruits. When if 100 wouldn't fit in a basket of 3 sav. And we would say we didn't eat anything. So how can you say that it's the word is zayni if after eating so many fruits we said we're not zayin? Obviously it's not sustenance because you obviously are filled up on these fruits. Now we get involved in the wording. Kikar zu Marvin, but you're allowed to make an air from it. Marvin loiba. Kikar zu alai. All benefit from this kikar is upon me in Marvin loiba. So Ravuna differentiates zu yes ear, alai no ear. Meisvei asked the Gemara, I know you mean kikar Marvin loiba. My love damer alai. Lai damer zu. Hachanam is David's going to say, I says, I won't taste it. What's going to be because when you say a lie, you're not going to have any benefit from it. If you say Marvin back why do you say the reason is because it's hektish? So if it's today, in Marvin, but you can't make an error on it, whether it's hektish or not. You're right. You can tell me what. So if I said a lie, you can just make an error. Doesn't sense. Says the Gemara. I know you've been a kikar Marvin leiba. Yes, make an erev. Because even when he said a lie, we make it as if you said a shvu, I won't taste it, and that's the reason why you can yes make an erev. It doesn't mean any benefit; it means eating it. What are we going to do with Ravuna? Who knows like Rav Eliezer? Who differentiates between zuna like Rav Eliezer? Omer shvu shleichal kikar zu Marvin leiba. Kikar zu alai ein Marvin leiba. So that's the differentiation like Ravuna that when he said this piece of bread, and you can yes make an erev because you can have other benefits. When he said a lie upon me, meaning no benefit at all, then you cannot use it as an erev. That's the Tanakhama. Rav Eliezer, Oimer, Kikar zu alai, you Marvin leiba. Kikar zu agdish ein Marvin leiba. So then Rav Eliezer is not the difference between zu and a lie. Says the Gemara, Visham Be'akdesha, straight to Nayli, but Rav Eliezer. So Rav Huna holds up one of them. Says the Gemara, Marvin the Nazir, you're allowed to make an ear for a Nazir in wine. Mas Nisan like Beishami, then Beishami, Marvin the Nazir, Yayin, Lisa, Chuma. Beishel, Rav over the Nizer, behind the Sabbath. Truma, so the Mishnah is going to the opinion of Beis Hillel. Amrlan Beis Hillel, Beis Shammai. Yeah, to Maidim, you Beis Shammai, are you not Maidim? Rabban the Gadol B'Yom Kippurim, they can make an ear for Gadol Yom Kippur. Amrlan, Avol, I agree with you. Amrlan, change from Rabban the Gadol B'Yom Kippurim, Lechem Rabban the Nazir behind the Israel, the Truma. So you should agree with us about that also. It says the Gemara, they don't. Beis Shammai, why do they not agree? Hazam Suda Ru'uyam B'Bayid Yom. Hachlek Suda Ru'uyam B'Bayid Yom. When it's Yom Kippur, during the day, the Gadol could have eaten it. Over here, the Nazir can't eat this wine. The Yisrael can have eat the Truma. So that's Machlek Beis Shammai, Beis Hillel. Mishnah's like Beis Hillel. Keman. So who's this guy? And I like to look Chananya, because Chananya learned Beis Shammai differently. Tani Chananya Omer. Kol Atzon Beis Shammai Loy Maidim Beis Shammai never admitted. They would not admit if you can determine the day, because they didn't hold it just about food. Beis Shammai held you have to create a real dwelling there. You have to put your full house at the end of the 2,000 amos. Come on. With black, you can't go with white. White can't go with black. Come on. This sounds like Chananya. They have to have your whole dwelling over there. 1 second. You only can't go out with the white, but you could go out with the black. Black and then the white. They seem to hold you have to bring everything over there. Says, you're right. This is what Chananya meant. This was the price meant. I need black ones. Because if you don't have everything, you have no ear at all. So you can't even go out without what you brought out. That's the opinion of Chananya that he held, that Beis Shammai held. You have to bring out everything there, all the food, all the clothing for the whole Shabbos. The first opinion of Beis Shammai was that they'll be agreed by saying which is right to be during the day. Then we have the opinion of Beis Hillel that says as long as it's right, it's going to be enough. Sumcha says, when it comes to chulin, then he argues. Simcha says you can't use the eruv of truma for yisrael; it has to be chulin. Dilu nazir b'yayin loy palik. Simcha doesn't argue with the first case of nazir for yayin. My taima. Because I have the mishal ben Yerusa. Because a nazir you could undo it, and that's why Simcha doesn't argue and says it would yes work. Yachi truma nami after the mishal loy could be shayil on the truma, making that truma. Says Gemara 1 second. Mishal hajal tevla. Fine, so be tevel. Then separate for someone else. People don't do that. The good guys don't do it. Fine, to separate from itself. That's why sure is not enough. My Paski, you said such a crazy case to Adam itself that you won't be able to give up Truma. Therefore, this item is Truma. You can't separate it. Game over. That's the Shimchas argues only in the case of the Truma, not in the case of the Nazir and the Yayin. Come on, Azlan. Who holds this? Everything is subjective with the person himself. Come on, sounds very much like some Chazan and Shimon Lazar, Tanir Shimon Lazar, Aimir Marvin L'Chel Zayin Veim Zaynoi. Uravazam Yisur Vein in Israel Kol Adam. When it comes to the Glan, it goes to any person. So if some Chazim say every single person is subjective, Tereg Ma'achalev Zayin Aval. Rav Hasan, Batal, it's a Koladim. Everyone's going to agree in the case of the Rav Hasan that we say Batal, Daita, the Kain Beis Abras, Damar Rav Yudam, Rishma, Manabal the Beis Abras, you know how? Because the Kain can blow, and then he's allowed to walk into the Beis Abras, which is near, which is something if there's going to be Tumba in there. Rav Yudam Bar Ami Mishmei, Rav Yudam Amar, Beis Abras shouldn't be starved. If it's fully plowed over, then it's going to be tar. Rav Yudam Amar Beis Akvar, you're allowed to even put it into the Beis Akvar for a Kain. Tana, what's the reason? Shachal Lachot, Lelech, which is there from Middle. Kain can go in a box and he can get into the cemetery. Kasavar, oil, Zark Shmei, oil. We're going according to the opinion that holds a thrown oil is yes an oil, and that's the reason why the Kohen can get into the basic farais to get the Eruv, and we'll pick it up from here in the next Chazara.